Now let's see BKe Cloud in action. You can use a recent version of any modern web browser. I'm going to use Chrome. You can either log in from the Action Step web page, the home page, here, or put a bookmark or favorite on your web browser so you can log in quicker. I'm going to log in as Randy Brown, one of the attorneys in our demo firm. When you start Action Step, it opens to the home page. This gives you an overview of what's going on today. On the left side is a heat map calendar showing the current month. The darker the color, the more appointments or tasks you have due on that day. Below the heat map calendar are blocks showing appointments today, tasks due today, and time records entered for today. The right-hand side at the top is the scratch pad. Instead of keeping all the great thoughts that you have in your head, you can jot them down here, sort of like post-it notes. You can add a note here. Let's say you want to review a CLE session on student loans. Once you save it, you can set a reminder so that in an hour or day, etc., you can have a pop-up alert or an email or a text message sent to you. It's a great way not to forget those brainstorms you come up with from time to time. Below the scratch pad is an activity feed where you can see just your or all of the recent activity in the firm. Next, let's look at the calendar. You can get to the calendar either by clicking one of the days here on the heat map calendar or clicking calendar on the main toolbar and selecting one of the views. Let's look at this week. On the left-hand side is a reference calendar to make it easier to browse to the date you want. You can select either the day, week, or month calendar format and navigate to different dates using these selector fields and buttons. Based on the preferences you set, you can either see or hide the tasks due on particular days, and you can also select which calendars you want to see. So if you are the receptionist scheduling people in the office, you might want to see all of them, but if you are an attorney or maybe a paralegal doing work, you want to see just your calendar. Action Step syncs with the Outlook calendar in Microsoft Exchange or Office 365, as well as the calendar in Google Apps. And since you can sync those calendars with your smartphones, you'll be able to see all the information in Action Step's calendar on your smartphone, so you can check it from wherever you are. Next, let's look at the case list. By clicking Cases on the main toolbar, you can navigate to one of several different case lists or views that have been set up for you. So in bankruptcy, we can see all the bankruptcy cases, just the 7s or 13s, or the ones where we haven't decided. Also, you can see a list of all your accounts receivable cases. These lists, called views, are one of the primary workflow tools in Action Step. So for example, if you are responsible for collecting documents, go down to the document collection view, and you can see all the cases where you're waiting for documents and the balance due. Last payment date, the number of days it's been on this step that you've been waiting, if a signing appointment has been set up, whether the document collection has been completed or not, and the last file date and note. The same concept occurs throughout BKe Express. We can go to the cases that have been filed and see what has to be done with them. Once the case has been filed, there are several tasks that need to be completed. You can see those here. Where there's a blank, that means it has not been completed. Where there's a date, that is the date it was completed. And you can see this other information with regard to each case, so you can keep track of what has to be done. The date filed, the 341 date, and so forth. If I want to drill down to a particular case, I can click the link on the case name, or if I want to search for the case, I can just type in the first couple of letters in the case name, see the search results, select the case I want, which will then open the case form. At the top is the case name. On the left, on the right is the client or clients. You can add their photo to the system. On the left-hand side are all the custom data fields, so you can track the information you need to manage the case. On the right-hand side, there are different lists of other information regarding this case. So if there are any related cases, like a refile, all the appointments, all the people involved in the case, all the recent file notes and recent emails and recent documents, as well as all the incomplete tasks. Let's look at another case. In addition to these lists, on the top is the step bar, which shows you the current step in green, the default next step in orange, and all the future steps in gray. Another tool to manage the workflow are tasks. You can see the tasks in a particular case by clicking on the task button. You can then open the task to view the task record. You can change the status from not started to in progress or complete. You can change the date that it's due. You can create alerts. You can change who it's assigned to. You can also mark the task completed by checking the box and clicking on status and marking it complete. In addition to seeing the people involved in each particular case, either here or on the Parties button, there's also a list of all of your contacts. Each contact can be connected to or participate in many cases, filling different roles. So Andy Aaron may be a client in one case, maybe an accountant in another case, and so forth. These contacts can be synced to your smartphone. So this information can be used to dial the phone or send an email from your smartphone. In addition, the mobile app also shows all of your matters, your timesheets, and your file notes. In addition to managing your contacts and matters in ActionStep, they can also be synchronized to the ActionStep mobile app that you can load on your iPhone or Android smartphone. You can also enter time and file notes on the mobile app. That completes this overview illustrating the digital file cabinet aspects of ActionStep in BKe Cloud. In the next several webinars, we'll look at the more advanced automated workflow features of BK Express, such as how BK Express helps increase your retain rate, that is, the percentage of your prospects that retain you, how BK Express manages the process of collecting the documents from your clients that are needed to file the petition much quicker and more efficient, and how BK Express Cloud manages the work required after the filing of the case prior to the 341.